The first thing I remember was the smell of smoke and spilled wine, heavy and sour in the air, mixing with the laughter and music that felt like daggers in my chest. I had walked in expecting a quiet evening at home, maybe a glass of wine and the soft glow of the living room lamp. Instead I found her, my wife Lisa, standing close to another man, laughing, leaning into him as though I didn't exist. The sight burned me from the inside out. I didn't say a word at first. My hands trembled so badly I almost dropped the keys. My mind screamed at me to run, to yell, to rip something apart, but my voice stuck in my throat. I watched, frozen, as the man whispered something that made her laugh, that easy, bright laugh I once thought was only for me. I shut the door behind me and leaned against it, trying to steady my breathing. Part of me wanted to storm in, confront her in front of everyone, to make her feel the same shock and humiliation I felt. But another, quieter part, the part that still loved her, still hoped for something real between us, told me to leave. I did the only thing I could think of. I locked the door. It was a cruel gesture, yes. But in that moment it felt like justice. I stood there, staring at the polished lock, imagining her knocking, pleading, apologizing. I imagined her realizing what she had done. But when the minutes passed and the party roared on inside, it became clear. She had no intention of noticing me at all. I went to the couch, my chest heavy, my mind spinning through every memory of our life together. The first time we met, the way she smiled at me over coffee, the small acts of kindness I had taken for granted. Had any of it been real? Or had I been living in a perfect illusion, blind to the truth? Hours passed. I didn't touch my phone. I didn't want to see messages from her, from anyone. I just sat in the silence, letting it stretch, letting it press against my ribs. Eventually, the quiet became unbearable, and I started pacing. And then my phone rang. Her name flashed on the screen, and a hollow part of me wanted to ignore it, to let her call go to voicemail. But another part, the part that had always believed in us, picked up. "Hello." My voice was rough, barely more than a whisper. "Mark." Her voice trembled. It wasn't the confident, playful voice I knew. It was smaller, fragile. "Can we talk?" I swallowed hard, trying to push back the storm rising in my throat. "Talk." "Lisa, what the hell are you doing? Who was that man?" There was a pause. I could almost hear her breathing, uneven and shallow. "It's complicated," she said finally. I didn't mean for it to happen like that. Didn't mean for it to happen." I echoed, my hands clenching into fists. "Lisa, you were flirting with him in our living room. Right in front of me. How is that not betraying me?" I know it looks terrible. But you have to listen, please just hear me out." Her voice cracked, and I felt something inside me twist. Part of me wanted to hang up, slam the door on her words forever. Part of me wanted to understand, to salvage whatever was left. "Fine," I said, my voice low. "Talk. But it better make sense." She drew in a shaky breath. I've been feeling disconnected. We've been so busy, so caught up in work and life, and God, Mark, I made a mistake. I was lonely, and he just made me feel seen for a moment. But it didn't mean anything. I swear it didn't mean anything. I laughed bitterly, a sound without humor. "You made me feel invisible for months, Lisa. And when someone else looked at you the way I used to, you ran into their arms. You call that a mistake? I know how it sounds. Sorry." "I'm so sorry," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "I wish I could take it back. I wish I could erase tonight. Please, Mark. Love you. I love you more than anything. I was stupid. I was weak. But I do love you." Her words cut through me, but not in the way she intended. They were like a hand brushing across a wound. It stung, but it didn't heal anything. I sank into the couch, my head in my hands. My heart ached in a way I hadn't thought possible. "I don't know if I can trust you again," I admitted, my voice raw. "I don't know if I can ever look at you the same way." "I'll do anything," she pleaded. "Anything. Counseling, space, time, whatever you need. Please. Just don't shut me out completely. Not like this. Not forever." I didn't answer. I just listened to her apologies, her confessions, the trembling hope in her voice. Part of me wanted to forgive her instantly, to let her back into my arms and pretend the night had never happened. Another part, the part that had been humiliated, abandoned, and betrayed, wanted to push her away, lock the door for good, and pretend I had never loved her. Finally I said, I need time. I can't just move past this. You have to understand that. I need to think. I need space. Right now I can't. My voice trailed off, choked with pain. I understand, she whispered. Take all the time you need. We'll wait. I'll do whatever it takes. After we hung up, I stared at the phone, my chest tight, the apartment around me quiet except for the distant music that still drifted from the party. I felt like a man standing at the edge of a cliff, torn between stepping back into safety or jumping into uncertainty. Days passed. I avoided her, avoided calls and texts, avoided any thought of what our life had been. Every time I saw her, every time I heard her voice, my mind flashed back to that night, the way she had pressed close to him, the way I had felt invisible and replaceable. But something unexpected began to happen. I started remembering the small moments too, the quiet mornings when she would make coffee just the way I liked it, the time she had held me through nightmares, the laughter we had shared when the world felt too heavy. I realized that I hadn't stopped loving her, no matter how much she had hurt me. I didn't know if I could forgive her. I didn't know if I should. But I knew I had to make a choice. Not for anyone else, not for appearances, but for myself. One evening, a week later, I found her sitting on the edge of our bed, eyes red, clutching a mug of tea. I walked in without knocking, my hands shaking, not from anger this time, but from uncertainty, from the raw fear of what I was about to do. I'm sorry, she said, her voice breaking. I know you need time, but I couldn't wait any longer. I had to see you to tell you. I'm so sorry, Mark. Love you. I've been an idiot, a fool, and I raised a hand, stopping her words. I stared at her, really seeing her for the first time in days. The woman I had loved, the woman who had broken my heart, and the woman I still ached for. I don't know if I can forget, I admitted. I don't know if I can ever trust you the same way. But I also can't ignore the fact that I still love you. I can't pretend this didn't hurt. But maybe we can try. Carefully. Slowly. Tears welled up in her eyes, and she nodded, relief flooding her features. I'll do anything, she whispered again. I'll prove it to you. I'll earn your trust back, even if it takes forever. I sat down beside her, and for a long moment we just held each other. Not in anger, not in betrayal, but in the fragile, trembling hope of something that could still survive. The apartment was quiet, the party long over, but for the first time in days, I felt a sense of stillness inside me. We didn't know what the future held. We didn't know if the pain would ever fully fade. But we had each other still, and for now that was enough. And as we sat there, holding the pieces of our broken hearts together, I realized that love was not about perfection. It was about enduring, about surviving the betrayals, the mistakes, and the fears, and choosing every day to try again.